Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Hi. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hi. I just wanted to do a quick case study with you about the services that we were able to provide for you. So tell us a bit who you are and what you do.
My name is Scott Horwitz. I'm a senior director at FICO, and I worked with you initially in my role as the volunteer board president for a religious nonprofit.
Okay, great. And what was the name of that religious nonprofit?
It was Congregation Beth Shalom, which is a synagogue in San Francisco.
Great, thank you. And what problems were you facing that made you call us?
So when we, initially called you and started working with you, we had just experienced I'll call it an internal misappropriation of funds, which left us both in a sort of in financial distress, as well as in a situation of low morale in both the staff and the board. And we had also been in an environment where our executive director and our finance director had not been really communicating well around balancing our operation and our mission. And so we were looking for help in that area as well.
Sure. Was a real issue, right? So what were the results that you found when you started working with us? How did we help?
So when we started working with you, and we did that for a number of months, it was really, really helpful as we went through it. And I would say that first and foremost, you really helped us recover from our financial stress, sort of both rationalizing our budget and giving our donors renewed confidence. And ultimately, we were even able to take those benefits, and we were able to retire around $5 million of building debt. So that was really first and foremost what we were really able to do, and we were really appreciative of that. I would say next, you really also helped the board to move away from sort of the operational tasks that we were, mired in, and really toward thinking more about strategic mission and direction in that way, right? To really separate us from the day-to-day activities of the organization. I would also say third, that you really coached our staff management in producing goals and objectives that really connected to our strategic mission goals. And then I think really increased staff morale, right? Because they sort of knew what they were working on and why it was important and impactful to the organization as a whole.
Great.
And then I think really importantly, you really helped us to celebrate our successes, right? And highlight what I would call individual contributions, right? So really highlighting what people did and the successes they were having in the organization. And I think that's something we had forgotten to prioritize, right? That we often were, again, not thinking enough about, hey, we really did something good, or someone did something really good for the organization, and we should celebrate that.
Yeah. And numerically, like how much easier was it to find time to do the things that were important and impactful, and how, did you experience any benefits in terms of being able to run the organization more efficiently?
Yeah, so I think that we were able really to, because we were now able to focus, and because we were sort of taking the rote tasks that we had to do and making them sort of more regular and more process oriented and things like that, we were really able to do a lot more with the staff that we had, and that really allowed us to become much more efficient. And again, I think it really connected the people who were working on tasks to, again, this larger mission that we were all aiming for and striving for. And I think that was a real difference, rather than sort of always saying we didn't have enough people to do X amount of things. We were able to really make that more efficient. And again, because we were more focused and more organized, it allowed us to do more things and really reach more goals that we had.
Excellent. Great. And so what would you say to someone who's thinking about working with me, who needs to find more time, who needs to be more financially accountable, who is looking for some help just putting together a nonprofit that's really successful?
Yeah, so I think I would, recommend your services and the way you really do things. And I'll just say from a personal standpoint, volunteering can really often be sort of a black hole, right? Where it just sucks all of your effort and there's sort of never enough time to do all the things you want to do. And I think what was really beneficial was your experience, that you had really seen what wasn't the first time at the rodeo for you, as it were, right? You had seen what we had gone through in other places, and it really, allowed you to, give us a comfort level that we could move forward and that we could get through what we needed to get through. And again, you really helped organize us around sort of the metrics of impact that we were really thinking about. So again, rather than us thinking, every task and transactionally, right, what would happen next and what was the next thing we had to do on a list, I think you really made us think more broadly around the organization, the metrics, and the impact, and then to really, focus our efforts. So, when I did something, it wasn't just to check it off the list and go to the next thing on my list. It was actually, okay, here's why I'm doing it. Here's why it makes sense. And here's why it's going to be impactful for the organization.
Thank you so much, Scott. Thanks so much for your kind words. Really appreciate it. It was a pleasure working with you.
Yep, of course. And thank you again for all your help.
Thank you.